Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Bruni, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell in a shirt that I've never seen him wear before. I don't think.
Is this the 2019 one?
I don't know what that is. North Texas alumni.
No, I got this for the I think I actually donated to the Alumni Foundation whenever we graduated. You know how you check that box? I think this is the
Wow!
shirt they send you with $5 they take from you
Wow!
or whatever it is. Something
Yeah,
like that. Or
I
someone
didn't.
is it Norma or I check that box. And
Normal probably check the box.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I don't know, it fits me though, so
that's good. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
Alum.
wearing a Mardi Gras shirt.
Yeah, but it's
And
green. But it's
I
green.
got but it is green. I had some. I had some boudin, grilled cheese. Colin, bless you.
Boudin grilled cheese?
Boudin grilled cheese.
That's
That let me
that's
just tell
good.
you,
That
they
sounds fantastic
they
actually.
find a way to put boudin in everything over here.
So
I've
wait, how
had
does that?
boudin
So is it
pizza.
just like is it like cheese with like the rice and stuff on top of it as well, or is it just like the fried balls in there as well?
No, it's cheese. It's a lot of cheese in it. There's a lot of boudin because boudin doesn't isn't just in the ball form. There's
Yeah.
you just put it in there regular. Yeah, and then they have some fried onions in there. It's a whole thing. I gained about 5 pounds eating it. It was great.
What's the weight at nowadays?
I'm just kidding. Oh, it was good though. It was good. So, Colin,
Yeah.
North Texas Navy. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it,
And
Bruni.
while we talk about it, let me take off our names off the display real quick. Okay. North Texas loses to Navy 27-24 on the road. The start of AAC play, and I feel like it has a lot of fans confused, or maybe not confused, but maybe conflicted to a
Yeah.
degree, because to this point, North Texas fans in losses this year have been upset. Cal was frustrating. Obviously, FIU was frustrating. This game against Navy, I felt a lot of people were not frustrated. Frustrated is not the word I think most people would use when leaving this game. It might be like disappointment. It might be, I don't really have another word, but disappointment was the one that kind of came to mind. So it didn't shoot down people's optimism in the same way as the other ones. What did you feel walking away from this
I
game?
feel like it was a feeling of like it was gonna be like it. I think the reason why it's like that conflicting feeling is because it felt like this was gonna be the turnaround whenever they stop Navy, and you're like, okay, now they're gonna win this game, and here we go, and then they just didn't.
Mhm.
Because they fought. I mean, it was I think it's because it wasn't like they. Yes, Chandler Rogers fumbled twice, and the one fumble lost the game basically. But it didn't feel like it didn't feel like they lost the game. It always felt like they were in it. Whereas in wins, like FIU, even though it was a close game, it felt like they were reeling a lot. Whereas I didn't feel like
Yeah.
they were really reeling all the time in tonight's game.
Let's talk about the fumbles because I think that's the difference in the game.
Yeah,
I remember saying on the preview podcast, I was like, Navy's not going to turn the ball over.
right.
And North Texas, therefore, cannot turn the ball over because you're playing a team that runs the system that Navy runs, and they're not going to lose yards. They're going to go forward. They're going to be efficient, blah, blah, blah. Chandler Rogers has 2 fumbles, no interceptions. Both fumbles were of the same variety, right? They were blitzes from Navy that were not picked up, where he was hit clean, fumbled the ball, Navy recovered. That was the difference in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
A lot of other stuff goes on in the game, sure, but that was the difference here. And I think people have a right to be like, hey, if they don't fumble those balls, they probably win those games. They probably win this game.
yeah,
And if you look at it, North Texas didn't do anything horribly wrong to lose besides those fumbles.
yeah,
And whose faults are those plays? Like, I look at it in a lot of ways of being Chandler Rogers, but then also the offensive line. Like, you have to be able to get yourself in position to pick up blitzes, and they didn't. But then I also want to place some blame on the coaching staff because there were far too many times where they went empty. There were a lot of times
yeah,
where the running backs had no blocking assignments.
yeah,
They left that offensive line out there to dry. Like, it was very much if Navy brought 6, they were getting home immediately. There was
yeah,
even one where they brought Simmons, they brought pressure, and like there were a couple times Rogers got it out in time, but he was like the Navy guy was there.
yeah. He got hit. Yeah,
Yeah. And so I'm like, at some point, we have to adjust here to where the blitzes are picked up better. They never really figured out that adjustment. And
Yeah.
as a result, Chandler Rogers gets hit late in the game for a second time for a fumble. And again, everybody's to blame here: Rogers, offensive line, coaches. But those are the plays that just can't happen when you are expected to be a dynamic offense. You're expected to be efficient.
Yeah.
Like we saw what this team can do. I mean, running back wise, they rushed for 5.7 yards per carry. A day 8.9, Johnson 12.7. Like receivers had 267 yards on 22 catches. Like the yards were not the problem. It
Right.
was those two fumbles pretty much that shot them in the back. And we'll get to defense in a bit, but I just leave this game saying, man,
What if?
offensively, you have to be happy. You averaged 7 yards per play, which is better than Navy's 6 yards per play, and you lost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to your point, Navy had 10 tackles for loss and 8 sacks.
8 sacks, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, and obviously he was getting hit a lot too, because I remember when I was watching the game, he'd throw the ball out. He's like, and as Chandler Rogers gets hit.
Yeah.
So going forward, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because we came into the season thinking this is going to be a big strength for North Texas, and I know that Navy is, they force a lot of turnovers or whatever, but I don't think of them as a defensive juggernaut that's going to just run you over in the trenches. So I think we all need to keep an eye on that. But yeah, I mean, again, you already mentioned it with the offensive stats. It's a game that felt, to bring back last year, it felt like you won on paper and it felt like you deserved to win.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. But that's the way it goes. And I think that a loss like this again didn't feel like the whole game you were out of it. It felt like a game that Navy won, more so to me when watching it. And I think that that's why it feels not okay, but it doesn't feel like losses in the past.
Now, I don't have anything else really offensively. I will say one more thing. I thought Navy not only did a great job hitting Chandler Rogers,
Yeah.
but outside of the one Chandler Rogers run that obviously went for a touchdown, 75 yards, where he just pulled it and ran, they did a great job of stopping him as a scrambler.
Yeah.
Like
They contained
they
him really well.
they did not give up those easy ones where he can scramble for 10 yards and get a first. Like for the most part, they did a good job keeping him in the pocket. It was a lot more like if North Texas was going to run with Rogers, they had to do it by design. And I mean, that's fine, but I don't think that's really what North Texas wants to do more so. They want to have the option to do other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Offensively, I still think Rogers is a really good quarterback. They just need to figure out on the offensive line and their protection stuff how they're going to
Yeah.
do it, because that's what lost you the game. Protection stuff, not being able to block 8 sacks, 10
10 tackles for loss.
TFLs.
Yep.
So yeah, that was disappointing there. Also, I mean, geez, I'm looking at stats now. 2 of 11 on third downs, 3
Yeah.
of 5 on fourth downs, though. So that makes up for
Well,
3 of
weren't
those.
2 of those at the very end of the game last drive? I'll have to look. I can look.
I'd have to look too. I don't want to speak out of turn. Defensively, Colin, I think this is where a lot of people left the game saying, "Hey, North Texas made some strides forward here," because we were expecting Navy to come in and just
Yes.
bludgeon them, break off big run after big run after big
Right.
run. For the most part, that wasn't the case, right? For the most part, they at least made Navy work on the ground to
Yeah.
get their yards. My counter to that is there still never felt like a moment when North Texas was winning at the line of scrimmage to the point they needed to win at the line of scrimmage in this game. 3 tackles for loss for 5 yards in this game. So even on those TFLs, they were for like 1 yard or 2 yards. They
Right.
were never blowing up plays. They were never getting Navy behind the chains. They were never even making it like third and long situations. There were a ton of third and shorts. So I actually don't think that the defense should earn that much credit, because ultimately you didn't do what you needed to do. Like, sure, you didn't. It wasn't ugly. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
the
true.
Appalachian State bowl game of what was that, 2018,
2018, I
2019?
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2018,
2018.
where they just ripped off 70-yard runs every play. No, it wasn't that. But Navy did exactly what Navy wanted to do. You
Right.
did not stop them from doing that. You did not hinder their process. You didn't make them throw the ball 10, 12 times. They threw it 8 times. And you're not going to beat Navy if the quarterback only throws the ball 8 times,
Right.
flat out.
Yeah, I mean, Again, they didn't break off the runs, but like you said, they had, and especially in the second half too. Whenever they were killing the clock a lot, it was like 8-yard run, and it'd be second and 2, and then it'd be like you'd stop them twice, and then they just go for it, and then they're gonna get anyways. They're gonna get theirs, and they kept getting theirs. So and that's what controlled the game. And again, to I guess not give credit to the defense, their time of possession was I think 33 minutes. 33 minutes. So you talked about this on the last podcast. The score might not be that high because of them just running down the clock, because they only run, and they did just that. I mean, I think their drive to start the half, the second half was like 7 minutes, and
that was the tone setter,
right? And I was like, okay, well, North Texas is gonna have 3 more drives to try to do this then, because they're down 10, and you just let them run a 7-minute drive. So
that was the tone setter to me. That was the one that I was like, out of half to let Navy go 7 yards. They hit the one pass on that drive that got them down in
tight end, yeah.
But like, they just North Texas never felt like it was ahead of what Navy was doing, and that's concerning. Obviously, because you look at the scoreboard, it's like Navy only scored 27 points. Yeah, but Navy continuously, I think, moved the ball effectively enough to where they controlled the time. They kept North Texas offense off the field. They dictated the tempo of this game. I'm looking at it now. North Texas had forced 2 3-and-outs for the game.
Yeah.
There were a couple of drives that were only a couple first downs, but still, it's like you have to get them behind the chains better. You have to do more damage on those. And those scoring drives, for Army, the 3 of them were 6:34, 5:15, and then the 2-minute one where it was relatively fast. So, anyways, defensively, I just can't get all the way around. I do think like guys like Nick Nakwasa had a good game. If we're going individually here, let me pull up the numbers. Nick only ended with 5 tackles too. It felt like he actually had some pretty impactful plays.
Yeah.
Junebug, if I'm allowed to call him that, everybody else on the team does, had 7 tackles. He was fine. Jordan Brown, I actually thought moved really well. And this is the Jordan Brown that I thought we'd see more of this season, where he had 12 tackles and seemingly was around the ball a lot. So shout out to him. And Logan Wilson was also, I think, fine at the point of attack. I think he made some decent tackles. But, like, they're still going to be the worst run defense in the country, like, statistically.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of concerns here. We didn't even see the secondary, so there's nothing to critique there. But I don't know. I can't get around moral victories here, because I understand those 2 turnovers lost the game. That's where I'm still standing on that. But defensively, you give up 400 yards to Navy. It's still not. It's like we're trying to congratulate them for doing better than our incredibly low expectations for the defense, and I just can't do that.
Well, I guess I don't want to. If me saying that like it's disappointing, but there's the optimistic part would be that it didn't feel like a loss of the past. I don't want to say that that's like giving credit, but it definitely feels like something different. I don't know if it's a positive thing, but it feels like something different. Now, I'm completely with you, because Navy's one of the 3 games that they have left, or 3 or 4 games that they can possibly win. So you cross that out and threw that away. Now that is definitely a concerning thing if we're looking at big picture. But I think in terms of game, it is what it is. Unfortunately, you're going to have the stretch of death.
When's the last time we said that? When's the last time we've been this content with the loss? And I'm not saying we shouldn't be content to a degree. I don't think this was
what I mean, and I don't want that to be confused with anybody, because obviously loss is a loss, and you don't want to lose a game that you should win when you think you have it. But I think the last time we felt that way,
I'm trying to look it up
here. That's tough.
Last year we died on every loss, so I can't really
died on every loss.
I can't really get around that one. Let me see. Yeah, we died every loss last year. Like, I'm just trying to think of the last time we were this content with the defeat, which I do think there is a sensibility aspect here. Like, this is year 1 of Eric Morris. This is the first game of the American. You're on the road. You're playing a triple option team. There are I think there are things that fans should be saying, like, hey, this is a positive we take from this game. This is, what we learned from this game. This is something that is a positive. But like you said, this is one of the 4 games in conference where
Yeah.
you are not a touchdown underdog. And Navy, I know, was like a 6-point favorite, but like this is one of the games that you kind of have to win if you're gonna get to 4 wins in
Yeah.
conference here.
Yeah.
Um,
Not only
so
that, if you want to even try to touch a bowl.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's not a it's not really one of the performances that I'm coming back to being like, damn, that's okay. Now, you don't win this game. Now you put more pressure on yourself against Temple. And Temple
Yep.
just pushed UTSA for a
And
while there.
Tulsa
Yeah,
and
Tulsa looks good.
yeah.
Like UAB just beat the brakes off USF. I don't know if you saw that final score.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Navy might be one of the worst teams in the conference here. I
Yeah.
don't want to alert to anybody here, but we leave this game feeling good. How long before, if let's say they even beat Temple, but then they go through the stretch of death and it's not pretty. How long before we go back and be like, damn, you had to win that Navy game. You had to win that Navy game.
I don't
I'm
know.
just
I don't know if we'll look at this season in that type of hindsight. And by the way, I found the last loss, which is pretty clear. It was Cal in 2019. That was the last
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one because everything else is either a blowout or it was you shouldn't have lost.
Even that game though, I do remember us
I do
being
remember
like
that game where it's like they should have had it, but that would be
They
the
sh-
last game.
they should have won that game, and also we were still had expectations of that 2019, I think, team
Yeah,
to
2019.
where we didn't know they were awful. And so we're like, damn, we're trying to
Yeah.
get on the national stage. You had to win this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a good answer, though. So,
But
go
I
ahead.
don't think in hindsight, when you look at the season, like say we lose, we get to UTSA and UTSA has a good game and beat the brakes off of North Texas. Like that was a stretch of death game and UTSA is turned around. I don't think we look at Navy when we go, oh, that sucks. Where like I don't think we look at it like we did last year with UNLV or Memphis.
No, I agree. What I'm saying is this is year 1 of Eric Morris. I think there are a lot of passes I can give out. I think in the moment I can give out a pass for this game.
Okay.
But in the big picture, if this team goes 2-6 in conference, or 1-7 in conference,
that'd be tougher.
Then I revoke my pass for Navy, because then it's no longer like, oh, you had the Navy loss, but then you learned from it and you beat Temple and UTSA and won 3 or 4 games in conference. 3 games is my minimum.
Well, that's that's the difference, though, is we knew that Seth would never come around whenever he did. Like, he wouldn't learn from the mistakes, like the UAB, whenever you're trying to coach a bowl and whatever. So that's why I think you can give the pass and it's okay for now, I guess.
I agree.
Like you said.
I agree. Like, I'm giving the pass. I just want to make sure we note it here. This is a mark here. All right, now you have to improve. Like defensively, I think you did some better things here. Okay, rush defense can't be dead last in the country anymore. All right. Offensively, we have to pick up these blitzes better. Offensive line has to be better. Like we have to win a road game. Like and I know La Tech was a road game, so sure. But you lost at FIU, and I will never forgive you for that.
Conference road game, I guess.
But even FIU loss is unbearable to me. So it's like we have to see that improvement. We got to see the steps forward. We have to see you make up for this loss. La Tech kind of made up for the FIU loss a little bit.
I think it made up for it in the sense that you put Chandler Rogers in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now Temple does not make up for this loss because you're supposed to beat Temple.
You have to,
and that's going to be that's a massive game.
Yeah.
11 a.m. kickoff on ESPNU, Colin.
Home. It's a home game too. You gotta win this home game.
Home kickoff, 11 a.m. ESPNU game. You gotta win this game.
You gotta win this game.
We'll talk about that in depth. But now there's a lot more pressure on that game, and then you got to make up for this loss somewhere. I'll include Tulsa. You include the next 5 games, right? The stretch of death plus Tulsa. You got to win one of those games. So it's like, it's a lot more pressure on you now to overcome when you don't beat Navy, who, as much as Navy pushed Memphis and whatnot, Navy also has been bad in a lot of their games this year. And you gave up 8 sacks, and you gave up 300 rushing yards, and you were competitive. You definitely were competitive, but it didn't feel like to me like North Texas was really going to win this game.
Right. And to your point about Navy, USF just beat them 44-30. Well, like you said, UAB beat USF 56-35. So
So like the bottom of this conference
It's not the same.
is not the same. You're not playing UTEP. I'm sorry, UTEP. You're not. Even
Yep.
Rice is out here being competitive with people. Like the bottom of this conference, you can very quickly fall to the bottom if you are not taking steps forward that you need to take on a weekly basis. That was our criticism of Seth Luttrell, is that they didn't really get better. All right, Eric Morris, this coaching staff, you don't have a great team. We know that, but you have to start getting better and wins games like this. But it starts with Temple.
Yep.
That's going to be the real big one.
Yep.
Biggest
Yep.
game of the year, right, Colin? That's what we always say.
No, this one's not as big as La Tech was. La Tech was a big game.
La Tech was a big game.
It'd be hard to trump that. Now, if
La
you
Tech
lose to
was-
Temple, if you lose every game until Tulsa, yeah, maybe then Tulsa's the biggest game.
0-6 going to Tulsa. Oh, brother. Ugh.
That'd be tough.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else? We can do our pick or
Pick
let's
'em.
look over our pick 'em real quick. We also have a nice little graphic in case y'all missed it.
Yeah, check out
put it-
Twitter at the Green Union T.
All
It's
right,
great.
let me. Navy rushing yards over under 265.5. I still think that was a good line, but I had the over and it was.
You had the
over.
over. God, I keep getting confused, man. This is bad of me.
You even made the graphic, Colin. I don't understand how
I'm just stupid.
you get
That's-
confused when you made the graphic.
You just see me raise my hand like I won that. That's tough.
Oh, I did actually see you at the bottom of my screen. You're kind of covered a bit, but we get there.
All right, next one.
Let me check off.
This is ridiculous.
Navy passing yards 155.
Bad.
Colin over. Bruni under. It was
No.
under.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not good for Colin. But I really don't feel sympathy because last year I ate that hot chip and I just want to see.
Yeah, well, that beautiful mane you guys see on the graphic, whenever you actually go see it, is about to be shaved off, it seems. So,
biggest play 50.5 yards.
I think I got that. Chandler Rogers. Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
Chandler Rogers. Yeah.
If it wasn't Chandler Rogers, you get it too.
Yeah.
That's big, actually.
North Texas tackles for loss 4.5. Colin under. Bruni over. It's under.
They had
It was 3. All right, and Colin got the actual score prediction. So
So I won. I ended up getting a point.
yeah, Colin actually
Oh wow!
got that.
What
one.
a table turner. That is.
I got both of my props right. You got both of your props right.
And
Look
the
at
score.
us. No, actually, that's not true. We got both of ours wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, you got the Navy passing and rushing yards were your prop, and I got them right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let me put this over here in the doc.
What's the am
The
I
updated total,
Mm.
Colin, is Bruni 13, Colin 10.
That's gonna be so hard to overcome, dude.
I'm terrified.
That's gonna be so
What?
hard.
How is it going to be hard to overcome, Colin? Literally, all you need is
Because
one.
last year we were
or
we
you
were
can
always
win.
within 1 or 2 until the last day.
I know, but
Like 3, like if you get like if next game you get 2, like that's
there's 5 points to be won every week.
I understand.
All you need is 1-4 in 1 week.
But then you can start playing conservatively.
How am I?
You can just be like, I don't know. You can
There's
just-
no way of playing this conservatively.
You could do
Colin.
it. You could figure it
There's
out.
no- I will. If there's a way, I'll find out. But we are now at the. We're not even at the midway point of the year, Colin. So
I'm
Temple
still
will be
scared.
the midway point.
For those who don't know, it is to shaving your head to beautiful shine. Not just you got to hit it with a razor. Like you got to be able to take a razor you shave your face with and just kind of
Yeah, we're
that's
yeah. So that's. I'm hoping it's not me because last year I had to eat the hot chip.
man.
The funny thing is, last year we did this and I didn't know how bad the hot chip was. So it was a lot
So
of it was
funny.
in jest, a lot of it was hey,
So
and we didn't
funny.
have hot chip. We said we were going to do the hot ones challenge that you see on.
Oh
YouTube,
yeah, but we couldn't find like
but I couldn't find it, which I did find it now. But
Mm.
regardless, so then I ended up ordering hot chip, just thinking it'd be similar.
yeah. I'll never forget you showing me some jalapeno. Oh, it was jalapeno salsa, and you're like, this is gonna train me up.
I thought about it. I was like, shaving your hair, that's pretty bad, man. But then I thought I probably would rather shave my head than do that again.
Really?
I'm being dared very, very
rather
serious.
shave your head than do that.
I would rather shave my head than eat that chip again.
I'd rather eat the chip.
No, you are different, but but
Masochist.
I would not. I would not eat that chip again. For me, it's very simple. I would shave my head.
What a great video. That was such a funny video. I felt so bad during live, but after it happened, it was great content.
Yeah. Okay. That's all we got.
Yep.
That's all we got.
Temple preview on Thursday.
Temple preview should be out Thursday, so stay tuned for that. We'll see if we get a guest on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a guest on too. So stay tuned for that. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Order a shirt, code M Green right there. Again, if y'all want to sponsor the video or our channel, I guess, or our green room, y'all can reach out to us and let us know what y'all think. We're taking applications. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, those Denton local businesses. You know,
All
if you
the
got
Denton
Rusty
local businesses.
Taco. You know, I can't think of anything else off the top of my
Rusty
head.
Taco is the one. LSA Burger.
LSA Burger. You know what? We got to call Sabrositas.
Sabrositas. I will. Oh my gosh! If we got Sabrositas, I would
That'd be crazy. What's
call
crazy
them.
is neither of us could go like eat their food. Like if that's like part of the the deal, it would just be like a.
If I were you and I was getting free Sabrositas, I might make that 45. Oh, it's longer.
It's
than you
longer.
know.
It's an hour. It's an hour.
DoorDash it and just tip the DoorDasher like
DoorDash.
$30.
DoorDash goes that far?
Dude, I had to make some crazy drives in DoorDash. I was making, yeah.
That's
You
tough.
just gotta tip them. Just put like $30 at the front of it. Somebody will pick it up, and you get it for free. I would do it. I would do it. All right, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Sponsor. Let us know. Okay, we'll talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a nice weekend.